Hey, good morning. This is Joe from Citrus County Porch Life, bringing you the AA word of the day for January 3rd, 2025. And the world word is powerless. This is another short reflection, end quote. We admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. That is taken from 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 21. It is no coincidence that the very first steps mentions powerlessness, an admission of personal powerlessness over alcohol is a cornerstone of the foundation of recovery. I've learned that I do not have the power of control I once thought I had. I am powerless over what people think about me. I am powerless over having just missed the bus. I am powerless over how other people work or don't work the steps. But I have learned I am not powerless over some things. I am not. Hold on while I turn this page. Very hard for me to turn a page. I went to get fingerprinted and they told me I no longer have any grooves. I am not powerless over negativity. I am not powerless over assuming responsibility for my recovery. I have the power to exert a positive influence on myself, my loved ones, and the world in which I live. And this is foundational. The idea of powerlessness, that I am powerless. And I would say for the external world, I'm powerless. The only thing that I have absolute control over is my reaction, how I control myself, I don't want to say the word control, use it too many times, how I view things and how I react to things. If there's a car coming at me, I have a choice to stay where I am because that guy doesn't have the right to come down this road, or get out of the way and live. If I'm taking a test, I have a choice to study for the test or not study and fail. Those are the things I can control. What I do. Even if you are in prison, you don't have much control over what you do, where you go. You can still maintain great sobriety and pass it on. It's external things I have no control over. In the program, we say people, places, and things. So that's pretty much everything outside of me. And people who think they have control over everything really are living an illusion of control because they don't have control. You may be the boss of everything, but you still don't have control. You may follow every step. I'll give you an example. This is a real life example of me. When I was very young, I graduated from college and I got a job in a bank, and I was the head of all the computer operations on third shift. They put a new safety system in, which it sense things like smoke or stuff, and would automatically send an alarm into the fire department. No, it didn't require anyone calling. I said, "Oh, that's great." Well, they had a bad sensor, and I mean, this building was big, and there was a bad sensor in there. And about every other night, the sensor kept going off, and the fire department showed up. Now, the fire department was bad that the bank wasn't working on solving the issue. They thought it would just go away, that it was dust in the air. And the bank was mad that the fire department responded to this without getting a call. And I was stuck in the middle. Even though I was in charge of the bank, there were people above me, yes, but they weren't there. I worked 11 o'clock at night to 7 in the morning. After about the fifth time this happened, the guy who was the fire chief, about 6'8", came and started yelling at me. And I'm a pretty big guy myself, 6'3", and he really laid into me. And I was like 27 or 28, and uh, it was something. Almost put tears in my eyes. He kept saying, "I'm in charge of the safety of all this. I'm I rank above the mayor. If I say shut something down and you tell them people, this building is going to be shut down if this goes off anymore." And after, they had all the fire trucks there, and after they figured out that there was no active fire, he called me into a room. He said, "Look, I'm sorry." He says, "I didn't mean to yell at you, but this could be a life and death situation. I want you to be safe. I want everyone that works here to be safe. Do not ever ignore this alarm." So I went and told the boss, the head boss of IT, exactly what he said to me. He says, "Don't worry about him. I'll take care of it." So the next time it happened, I told it to the fire chief. He said, "Okay." He says, "Don't you worry about it." He says, "Just get it whenever this goes off, even if it's, a bad sensor problem." He says, "Get out of the building and stand out there." So that's what I did. And every night we had downtime, terrible, terrible downtime. And he went and spoke to the head of IT and I think the president of the bank. And all of a sudden, they got someone working on the problem. And that just showed me, I get puffed up. Hey, I'm the head of you know, the third shift IT part of the bank. And I was powerless. There's always someone with more power. And if it gets up to you're the most powerful human, there's always God. And it was a powerful lesson to learn, I'll tell you. I felt so humble when that guy standing in front of me yelling at me. And 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 I could see his point. When he talked to me later in a calm voice, he saw that, I was really frightened, but some things you have no control over. I did what he said. He told me he was when it came to public safety, he was the highest person in that town. It was the town of East Providence, Rhode Island. I said, okay, that's it. You said it, and I'll do it. So, yeah, that job had become unmanageable for me, but I stayed there for many years. So, we didn't have that problem again once they got it fixed, and everybody knew the relative powerlessness of who's who and what's what. And I hope you could see a lesson in that. I spent a lot of time on that, but it was a very powerful thing in my mind about, how I thought I was, really up there at my age running a bank, and to find out that there's powers out there that are a hell of a lot more important than me. So it went with my sobriety. So God bless. Have a safe and sober day, and we will see you tomorrow as the new year advances. Imagine tomorrow will be January 4th. I was just anticipating Christmas. Oh well, I hope we don't have too bad a winter here. It's so nice today. God bless.